tips to help children love mathematics. I've heard quite a lot, because some people, I shouldn't say quite a lot, some people say, mathematics is not just my child's thing, my child doesn't like mathematics. Even some will go ahead to ask you, how can I encourage my child to love mathematics? How can I make my child love mathematics? They don't just want to do it, they're scared of it. So hence the topic of today. So I will start with this one, that mathematics is an everyday life. It's what you do every day. But it's just that it is represented with abstract symbol. What do I mean? Let's say, for instance, now an architect want to design a building. The measurement of the measurement of the building, the measurement of the length, the height, the breadth, everything, the fittings in the building is everyday life. But you have to represent it with symbol, maybe saying cubic, using feet, using centimeter or length to describe it. It's an abstract figure, but what the architect is really doing is mathematics, and it's everyday life. It's what we do every day. Let's say the numbering on our street is mathematics, showing that a particular side is even while the other side is odd. They are all mathematics. Asking a child, how old are you? Your sister is 5 years old and you are 3 years old. What is the difference between you and your child? What is the age difference between you and your sister? So these are everyday things, and that is what mathematics is. So you ought to make your child understand that mathematics is not something abstract. It's not an abstract, it's what you do in life. When you talk about measurement, talk about estimation, approximation, it has to do with everyday life too. You're cooking. If you are cooking so amount of quantity of rice, you should know the quantity of seasoning that will go into it. This is everyday life. So you will let them know that mathematics is everyday life. It's what they do every day. They should not be scared of it. Another one you ought to know, and your children ought to know, is that mathematics is not about speed, but about understanding the concept of what the child is learning or what the child is being taught. So I've heard, I've heard other people say, that child is a math genius. In a split of a second, he will just solve this problem and stuff like that and stuff like that. Yes, but these are not common, and they did not just stumble into it. Somehow, these geniuses you see, it must have been stimulated in them when they were small, or somebody has taken the pain to grow them through that process, that they are not good at it and they cannot be fast in it. So when you are making your children love mathematics, don't concentrate on speed. Concentrate on them understanding the concept they are being taught, or you are teaching them. You don't give a child a set of problems or a worksheet to finish at a particular time. In the next 20 minutes, in the next 30 minutes, I want you to finish this worksheet. When it comes to mathematics and a child that you are trying to encourage to love math, don't do that. When you do that, you will cause anxiety in them, or even some will even lose the courage to even try. So just let them go at their own pace. Let them work. Make sure they understand the concept. Make sure they follow the concept. Even a child that is very good at math, when you start giving them time to work and start working with speed, they might make mistakes. And when they start making mistakes, they get discouraged, thinking that they are not good at math again. So as a parent, as a teacher, encourage understanding of the concept, not speed. The speed is not the skill. The real skill is them understanding mathematics and enjoying doing it carefully. So the next tip I want to give is let them know that nobody is born a mathematician. And that is the truth. You don't give birth to somebody from the one the person becomes a mathematician. It has taken effort, perseverance, and consistency. So you let them know that anybody you see excel in math has put in the work, has put in the effort. Just like anything worthwhile in life needs effort, needs practice and consistency. So is mathematics. So encourage them to always put in the work, to always persevere, to always work hard for them to be able to be good at math. So it takes them learning, persevering, and practicing what they have been taught. Another way you can encourage children to love math is encourage growth mindset. What do I mean? Do not let them have a fixed mentality concerning mathematics. When I say a fixed mentality, mindset, what do I mean by that? Oh, some say, hey, I'm born a math genius, I'm just too good at math. So I don't have to work, I don't have to study, I don't have to practice. Once I just get there, I will do it. That's a fixed mindset. Or, oh, I'm not just good at math at all, so I don't need to, whether I work from now to tomorrow, whether I try loving math, working math, practicing, I'm not good at math. That is a fixed mindset. So we should not allow children to grow with that, and we should not encourage that. When you hear your child say, I'm smart at math, they'll say, oh, you are smart because you practice mathematics. You are smart because you have been practicing, because you have been working, because you have been putting in the effort. So when you see them say, I don't like mathematics, so I will not say, no, you say, no, when you put in the effort, you'll be good at it. So let them know that mathematics takes a growth process. It's not something you just dabble into. It's not just something you just dive into or you just gain. It's something you just gain. No, it's not fixed. It can expand and it can shrink. So that is why you need to put in the effort. That's why you need to put in the work. That's why you need to put in the practice. So these are the kind of mindset you inculcate in your children, and you should have, that these children will love mathematics. And some of them will say, mathematics is too hard, mathematics is too difficult. You say, yes, I know, but you know what? Our brains are wired in such a way that we can do hard things. We can do things that are challenging. Since mathematics is looking challenging, that is why God gave you a brain that can do it. So you encourage them. You let them know that their brain is wired to do strong things, that a lot of problems that we have gotten solutions from is because our brains were wired to do that. That was why people were able to invent the solutions to those problems. So if mathematics is hard, you have been created in such a way that your brain has been created in such a way that you can solve that hard maths. I love that. When you discuss this with children like this, when you tell them things like this, they'll be so excited. They want to do it. They want to try it. Nothing I want to tell you as a parent or as a teacher to encourage children to love math is that encourage effort, not right or wrong answer. When you just say, oh, this answer is wrong, well, the child will be discouraged. But if you encourage their effort, oh, I love the way you meticulously or carefully solve this question. I can see that, oh, before solving the question, you wrote out board math. So you knew that bracket will come first. So you solved the bracket first. Even if the child did not get the answer, the child will be encouraged that he was able to get some step. So you should encourage the effort. You should acknowledge the step that the child takes in doing that work, or the child took to do that work. The child will be motivated to want to try more, will be motivated to want to do next time. So whether the answer was wrong or right, in as far as the child puts in the effort to do it and follow steps, acknowledge it and encourage the child to try more, to persevere more. You can say, oh, I love the way you continued even though you were tired. I saw that you were tired, but I saw you kept trying to get to the answer. I saw that you tried using this method, it did not work. You tried this other method I taught you. That is awesome. So for you and the child to be a win-win, the next time the child will want to learn. So you can show the child how he can do the conclusion. And if the child got it, the child knows that, oh, when next I want to do math, I have to carefully go through the different steps. That is how they come to love math. Another important thing I want to say about how you can encourage children to love math is that when teaching mathematics, you must move from simple to complex. This is very important. If I want to teach a child about fraction. I don't just jump into fraction. I must have taught the child addition, subtraction, if possible division, because I know all these skills are needed in fraction. So what I do, so before teaching the child fraction, I know that the child have gotten each of the steps. So I build on the basics. So once the child knows the basics, I cannot build on it. So the child knows that 3/4 plus 1/2. So the child already know what the addition sign is. So it will not be difficult to tell the child that add this and this together. No, you have already taught the child how to divide. So the child has an understanding of what it is, of what the previous steps are, or the various steps that is going to be taken in what is it called now? Fraction. So the child have to go along with it. So I've done this. So I cannot combine it to the child. I cannot combine it for the child to be able to do the fraction that he is being taught. Another way you can encourage children to love mathematics is that you must move from concrete to abstract. What do I mean? If I want to teach a child something, the abstract something in mathematics, like let me give the example of the fraction that I just did now. Maybe I want to introduce the child to fraction. Before introducing the child to the abstract to what a fraction really is, I will get manipulatives. I will get a model, maybe a model of an apple or an orange. I will call the child. I will say, this is orange. I want to share it into 4, and I want to give you one part. So I'll just give it. I will give the child different things that the child can use to get the concept of dividing, get the concept of fraction. So the child know that this is 2. Okay, give one to your sister. I've shared this into 5 now. Give one to your sister, give one to your brother, give one to mommy, give one to daddy. I do it like that. Or if it's in a class, I give the child the material. We work with it. So you say, okay, this is a cardboard paper. I want to divide it into 5. You just let the child say, okay, let's put it back together. Okay, this is a puzzle. Let's do. So I'm not teaching the child anything about fraction yet. I'm just allowing the child to grab the concept of fraction. When I know that the child understood what it is, then I will now introduce the child to the abstract names of the fraction. And I say, okay, what I've been telling you is called fraction. So now we divide this into 3, and I say, give me 1/4. When I say 1/4, that means I want you to divide this thing into 4, and you give me 1 part. So if I tell you, give me 3/4, that means you need to give me 3. So it's 3 out of this 4. So you can now start introducing the abstract name. So if you can do this, the children will love maths. I believe that these are the little tips I want to give, and I believe that it has been helpful. So as parents, as teachers, we should know that no child is born to love maths or to hate maths. What is important is the strategies that we use to teach them the maths, and is the motivation behind what we say to them that really matters. The way we speak to them concerning math, the way we motivate them, the way we encourage them, we make them love math. And the way we too say math, we encourage children to love math. So I believe this has been helpful.